I remember back in 2014, I believe, um, they were getting ready to release a new movie called the Lego Movie. And the Lego Movie was quite literally what the name implies, you know, Lego Movie, you know. And 8-year-old me was obsessed with Legos at the time. I still love Lego, obviously. I have like a whole collection of Lego. I still do collect, like not as much, but I love Lego. Lego's amazing. But 8-year-old me was like obsessed with Lego. So naturally, I was curious. It was like, okay, they're making a movie about like the best toy in the world. And I went to see it in theaters. And I didn't know what to expect because I wasn't a film fanatic at the time. I guess you could say I wasn't like a self-made film critic, self-portrayed film critic at the time. Nowadays, I like as I've gotten older, obviously I've developed a more like critical eye for movies and what actually constitutes as like a good movie, a high quality movie. With when I was a kid, I was 8 years old. It was like, who cares? Like, it's just a movie. A movie's a movie. I would like watch anything as long as it entertained me. So I ended up watching the Lego movie, and it was one of the best movies I'd ever seen in my entire life at the time, obviously. And I think the reason why it worked so well, okay, the first thing is it was very easy to mess up a Lego movie, right? Very easy, very, very easy. But they actually they could have made a movie that was just simple product placement, you know? It could have just been another throwaway like movie about like a successful toy brand that's just like, dumping product everywhere. Like the movie could have had no story, no interesting characters, no like decent writing. It could have had none of that. It could have just been a product placement movie. And the film still would have made money, but it wouldn't have been a successful attempt at taking a toy brand or toy product and making it into a great film and making it into a genuinely entertaining, high quality film. So it was easy to mess up a Lego movie because it could have just been another product placement movie, but it wasn't. It ended up being one of the most creative, one of the most entertaining, one of the most fun movies I've ever watched. Still to this day, the Lego movie is like my roast to rewatch movie. I've rewatched that movie like over 12 times or something. I don't know. I adore that movie. I haven't seen it in like a year and a half though, so I might have to revisit it again. But yeah, that movie is incredible. The dialogue is engaging and interesting. It's a kids movie, but it still finds a way to speak to a more mature and an older audience with the themes, the message, like the importance of like realizing that we're all special. There's no one person who's special. We're all unique in our own ways. And I think that's a beautiful message that they were able to portray in this movie with the character Emmett, realizing that he's a special, but he's made to feel like he's not the special because he's ordinary or he's not a master builder. But eventually he does come into his own. And then we learn ultimately that we're all special. We just need to find our something, you know? So the film is just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant movie. And the trend, like I wouldn't say it's a trend, but a lot of movies from the past, like a lot of like really good animated movies or like movies that are supposedly for kids, right? They actually do a very good job of like catering to an audience of both children and adults. So you can enjoy them from both perspectives. The problem is now nowadays it seems that like movies don't really hit the same anymore. And the reason I was talking about the Lego movie is because as a kid, when you're watching like when you used to watch like your Toy Stories, your all your classic Pixar movies, your Ratatouilles, or your classic DreamWorks movies, your How to Train Your Dragons, your Shreks, like there was something special about watching those movies when you were a kid. Like there was something you could feel magic. Like there was just like some type of magic. Like I know Disney has like a whole like Disney like their movies are magical in nature. So that's a given. But like when you're watching like those when you were as a kid watching those movies, your How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek, even B movie, Over the Hedge, all these classic movies, Rise of the Guardians even. Like you felt there's something that felt special about those movies. All those movies. Because it they actually cared about making high quality films. Like the movies that they were making felt like passion project. Every movie that was made felt like passion projects. Even the sequels where it kind of felt like they were doing it just for the money or whatever. Because again, it's Hollywood, so it's money is always going to have a big role to play in the grand scheme of things. But they genuinely cared about making a high quality animated film that spoke to children but could also entertain children and also speak to adults and entertain adults. They were entertaining both audiences, captivating them, and like providing strong and interesting messages. So when you go back and you watch something like Toy Story, you feel like when you go back and watch like these movies, like from the past, like from when you were a kid, right? Like if I go back and watch like How to Train Your Dragon, like right, that's that's my part of my childhood. There's you get hit with a wave of nostalgia, first thing, but second thing, you realize how high quality films from the past were compared to the films that you got that we're getting now. Because the films that we're getting now are like, I mean, yeah, sure, there's still like high quality movies that are coming out, but it's almost like it's almost like we've lost our our spark, I guess you could say, in terms of creativity and the ability to make original, unique stories. Because Shrek is an original story. How to Train Your Dragon, original story. Like all of these animated films are all like original stories that were created and like made into films and are super entertaining. They're super like they're fantastic. They're amazing. We love them. But nowadays, it seems like all Hollywood wants to do is take those movies that people loved from the past and kind of just make remakes. And yeah, there's a lot of obviously people on the internet talk about this a lot, talking about like they're sick of the Hollywood remakes, all like this, and this. But for me, I wanted to speak on it because as somebody who is a creative type like myself, somebody who wants to like write his own comics, wants to create his own books, like create his own new unique ideas. Obviously, I do take inspiration from different like things. I take inspiration from like Marvel, DC, obviously to create to create like some of my characters, some of my stories. But I still have to make it my own thing, you know? So obviously it's one thing to be inspired by a certain film and then make a new film, right? And make a new film with elements of the film that you're inspired by, but also turning it into your own unique thing, which is what I like. This is the kind of thing that I like to see. It's very nice. It's kind of like how there's zombie movies from the past, and then a new director will come. He'll put a new spin on how they do zombie movies. It's still a zombie movie, and it's inspired from zombie movies from the past, but they're taking it. They're kind of putting their own fresh spin on it, and then they make a new original film, and it's really entertaining. It's really good. But for me, the issue is that Hollywood is just kind of taking like How to Train Your Dragon, for example. We're getting a live action How to Train a Dragon now, and they're Like it's literally the same story, same everything, but it's just live action now. It's kind of the thing that it's kind of the issue I've had with Disney for the last 10 or so years now. I think it's been since they started making these live action remakes. I think they started with Cinderella. Yeah, they just take these movies from the past and just kind of, make remakes of it. And people people are pretty divided on the quality of these remakes. Some people really like the remakes, some people really don't like the remakes. I think majority of people don't like the remakes, depending on which remake we're talking about. For me, the only ones I actually enjoyed were The Jungle Book, so Mowgli, and Cinderella. Those two are pretty entertaining. They're pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, still prefer the original stories by a mile, but they're still high quality enough. But as they continue to make more and more live action remakes, the pattern a pattern was starting to form. Because these movies were making like big bucks, right? But there was no spark. There was no creative spark in what they were doing. There was no like creative boom when they were making it. And it just kind of felt dead. Like it just felt dead. And I think that Hollywood now has shifted in a way that they're no longer interested in making high quality films. They're more interested in churning out movies that they know will get people into the theaters, buying tickets, getting the snacks, going in, watching the movie. It like has a big box office opening weekend, and it makes like a ton of money. Like Aladdin made $1 billion. Literally, it's just it's copy and paste of the original Disney, like the original animated like series, bro. And then like same thing with Beauty and the Beast. Again, I'm pretty sure that movie made $1 billion. It's the same as the animated, it's just live action. Like it's it's interesting to me. Even Snow White, although Snow White is a different case because Snow White they changed a few things, but ultimately that's probably like the worst Disney live action remake. People are already flaming it right now. It's been out for about a month now. Like people are flaming the crap out of that movie. It sucks. It's a really bad movie. Like I didn't think it was ever going to be good. The moment they announced it, I knew it wasn't going to be good, and I saw the reviews and I knew exactly what type of movie this was, and it's terrible. So that didn't come as a surprise to me. So, you know, it's it's really interesting. Disney is obviously the main culprit, but there's a few other examples. Obviously, How to Train Your Dragon being the DreamWorks example of this. But it seems to me that Hollywood has lost, like, I wouldn't say entirely lost, but for the most part has lost its ability to make original, new, unique stories. Like when I hear about like an indie film that's getting made or like a more unique like like movie, it's like like movie that's being made that's like an original story, it hasn't been adapted from anything. It's just like a new like a director takings like just coming up with his own story and just making it into a film. I actually get excited. It's nice to see stuff like that. But what's not nice to see is hearing Rachel Zegler talk smack about the original Snow White and saying that she doesn't think it's a good film at all and it's outdated. And then she goes, the Disney team, they make this movie and it's about a trillion times worse. So you thought that was a bad movie. What do you think about this one? You thought it was good? You thought it was high quality? Why? Because you were the star? Like, dude, these movies are just they're bland, they're boring, they're uninspired. It's just doesn't hit anymore. So I think it's kind of the reason why people like there aren't as many people in movie theaters anymore. Because I mean, if you look back in 2019, so 6 years ago now, damn, time flies, yeah. 6 years ago, you remember, oh, let's go back to 7 years ago when Avengers Infinity War first came out. The amount of people that were in the movie theater, absolutely insane. Literally insane. There were so many people in that theater. I went to watch Infinity War opening weekend with my dad. Dude, the place was packed. It was packed with people. And honestly, like it it's just crazy to me. It's flipping crazy how like it's just crazy, I think. I think it's crazy. Like you look at like Infinity War opening weekend, like wherever you're watching this from, like you probably know, like you probably remember when you went to watch Infinity War how full the movie theaters were. Like it was insane. Or Endgame. Endgame was probably even more because people wanted to see, because there was more people wanting to see. They wanted to follow along the story. New fans coming in trying to catch up to every Marvel movie before watching Endgame, and now there's even more people in the theater, and it's like, hmm, like damn, bro, like you're worried that you might not even get a seat. You have to book tickets like 2, 3 weeks beforehand. Otherwise, you're not going to get a seat. Otherwise, the tickets are going to get sold out. Like tickets were selling out. Nowadays, you go into a Marvel movie, even one that's like highly anticipated, like No Way Home. There's not as many people, really. Like you could buy your ticket on the day at the ticket machine, at the machine. You'll still get a ticket, you still get a seat. No big deal. Every Marvel movie I've watched after Endgame, I've never had trouble getting seating at all. Like I've never had a problem with like tickets are sold out. This, and this. Remember when they used to make like the 30-second ad spots or the announcements or whatever, like tickets are selling out fast and like all that stuff. Don't hear about that anymore. Marvel movies just they're no one's like watching, not many people are watching these movies anymore. No one's excited anymore. I still am excited because I mean I'm a freaking nerd, so obviously I get excited for everything superhero related because I love superheroes. But most people are kind of tuned out by movies nowadays. Most people would much rather sit at home, stream Netflix movies, or just like watch HBO Max or Showmax or um, Amazon Prime or Disney Plus. Like people don't want to go to movie theaters anymore, and it's kind of sad. And I think the reason why is because people are starting to notice how uninspired Hollywood is now. Like they're not trying anymore. They're not trying as hard. Like if you go back to the 1900s, let's go back as far as the 1900s, bro. Like when movies started to become super big, like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like when movies were like super, super big. Like, dude, like Star Wars. When people went to go watch Star Wars, dude, like that movie, like it was insane. Like people love Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back. Like they would like literally print on the newspaper about like talking about the Star Wars like screening or like the Empire Strikes Back screening or Terminator or Indiana Jones. Like these were like the big, big, big movie like franchises at the time, obviously, right? They were just pumping out high quality films. Like honestly, it's funny to me how like like Hollywood, the technology they use to make movies, like all this stuff. We've advanced from the day like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. We've advanced from those days when talking about like the progression of filmmaking, the technology, the cameras, everything that we use. It's kind of we've progressed, we've advanced, and yet somehow Raiders of the Lost Ark, which came out in 1980 or 1981, I'm not sure, in 81. Like, you compare Raiders of the Lost Ark to something like, I don't know, flippin', what's a movie from today? I don't know. Just compare Raiders of the Lost Ark to any, like, big movie from the 2010s. And you can tell that there's, like, a big difference in quality. Raiders of the Lost Ark is arguably the greatest like adventure film of all time. It's one of the greatest films of all time. Like to think like just me saying that a movie from the 80s is one of the greatest movies of all time is crazy because in your head, like logically, we should be advancing. Like we should be moving forward in terms of filmmaking, right? We should be moving ahead. Like we should be we should be like in like at a higher level, but we're not somehow. The movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s are still considered to be some of the best of all time because they're timeless. Think a movie from 20 like 2019, 2020, 2021. Like if I look at a movie from 2021, bro, I'm not gonna like sit here and say that movie's timeless. Like I could never I can't pinpoint a movie from the 2010s or 2020s that I consider to be like timeless. You know what I'm saying? There's a few from 2010s. There's a few from 2010s, nothing from the 2020s. Like a film that's like truly timeless. Like Star Wars, like the Star Wars, the original trilogy, timeless. Indiana Jones movies, timeless. Jurassic Park from 1993, timeless. Terminator movies, timeless. Like these are timeless, timeless classics. And sure, maybe it's an issue of like like we're still in like the 21st century. We need we need time for the films to age and everything. I mean, sure, but 30, 40 years down the line, I still don't think anyone's going to be calling these movies timeless. Like, let's be honest. Like, no one in the year 2045 or 2050 or whatever, no one is going to be sitting and saying, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine is such a timeless classic. No one's going to say that. I can almost guarantee it. No one's going to say that. So, yeah, no, I don't, I don't think so. It's just, mm, it's really disheartening, I think, for like something as big as the film industry to come apart so quickly. The movies we watched in the 2000s, early 2010s, we love those movies, we adore those movies. We go back and we have fond memories of those movies because they made us smile. When you go into a movie theater nowadays, it doesn't hit the same. When I was 12 years old and I went to see Avengers Infinity War or Black Panther, I smiled. I was excited. When I go into a movie theater now, I'm skeptical because I don't know if this live action remake is going to be good, or this, or the seventh movie of the franchise that's been running since the 1970s is going to be good, or I'm not sure if um this remake of the remake is going to be any good, or the remake of the sequel to the sequel of the remake. Like, I'm not making much sense, but you understand. So it's like, what what do I even do with this? Like, what do I do with this? I can't do anything with this. Like, I'm skeptical now. I don't go into a movie excited, smiling. Like, there's very few movies where I'll be excited, like I'll be excited, smiling, happy, like excited to see this movie. And even in that case, it's not like the excitement I have is not nearly as much as the excitement I would have had like 7 years ago for a new Marvel movie. Because back in the day, when you said you were going to go watch a new Marvel movie, it's like, whoa, like damn, bro, the new Marvel movie came out. Thor Ragnarok just came out. Captain America Civil War just came out. I'm so excited. I have to go watch it. Like, that's genuinely exciting. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I'm going to watch Eternals, or I'm going to watch Black Widow. Like, you can already feel like these movies just aren't as like good anymore. And I mean, like not even just Marvel movies, DC movies. Although DC was a very different case because the DC EU is one of the most inconsistent like film franchises to ever exist. They have a lot of high quality films. Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's Justice League. But then there's also a lot of lower quality films. Aquaman 2, I think it's called The Lost Kingdom, Black Adam, um, Birds of Prey, flipping the first Suicide Squad. Like there's highs and lows. So it's like you never know what you're gonna get with the DC movie. And the DCEU is pretty much over, so that's whatever. There's a new reboot now. Like, but this year there are a few movies that I am genuinely excited for. Superman, is my most anticipated movie of this year. Fantastic Four also my most anticipated movie of the year. But like, I also know that I'm going to go into Fantastic Four a bit skeptical because there's four fantastic movies out so far, and they're all some of the worst superhero movies of all time. With the most recent one, Fantastic, as I like to call it, arguably like the worst superhero film of all time, in my opinion. Maybe second worst, I don't know. There's a few superhero movies that are like really terrible, and Fantastic's definitely up there for sure. So it's like I'm still skeptical because if they mess up Fantastic Four again, I don't ever want them to adapt Fantastic Four again because Fantastic Four is one of my favorite superhero teams. So it's like if they mess it up, then like what am I supposed to do as a Fantastic Four fan? It's like nothing there. So I when I was a kid, I never went into movies with a bit like skepticism. Like I never went into a movie feeling skeptical of anything because I knew I could shut my brain off and enjoy the movie. And yet somehow when I was a kid and all I cared about was shutting my brain off and watching like a fun, entertaining movie, they were able to switch my brain on while I was watching the movie and instill important like and mature messages that I could understand through the storytelling of an animated film, but that an adult through the dialogue could also understand. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. You have your brain turned on and you're actually invested in the story, the message, the themes that they're trying to portray. And also you get entertained at the same time. Nowadays with movies, it's like, let's just remake this movie. Let's just do a sequel to this movie. What do you do with that? You don't have anything. So yeah, I think I don't know if it's because we're getting older or I don't think it's because we're getting older. Because like I said, those movies from the past, like those animated movies, they had interesting messages. They had mature, like deep-rooted messages that hit kids and adults. So adults are still being entertained by these movies. With movies nowadays, it's just like let's just remake this, or let's just make a rebirth sequel to this movie, or like a rebirth, remake, retelling of this story. And it's just like, where's the spark? Where's the creativity? It's dead. Hollywood's creativity is dead. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna change, honestly. And I made this video just to talk about movies not hitting the same anymore. Audiences are made to feel stupid as well, which is another thing I forgot to mention. Like they tell you everything that's gonna happen. Like what happened to mystery? What happened to suspense? There's nothing. It's just like they reveal everything to you on a silver platter, and it's like, oh, great. When you watched Toy Story 3, did you ever think for a second that like 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 the way that they built up to us learning of Lotso being the villain of the movie? It was actually interesting. Lotso the purple bear. That was interesting. But nowadays it's like, oh yeah, we can already tell who the villain is just from one shot or just one like just like from the beginning of the film we can already tell who the villain is. Like it's easy. It's easy. It's easy to guess. And even if you did, or even if you were able to instantly tell who the villain was, like if even if there's no mystery in the films, like in a film, right? At least they were able to do it in a way that you were still entertained. Nowadays, it's like they just they just barf everything out. Horror movies, same thing. It's just remakes, retellings, re everything. Like it's re everything. Let's just redo everything. Let's adapt Until Dawn, but let's also like make it nothing like the game. Like, okay, if you're gonna like do a video game adaptation, at least stay faithful to the source material. You can put your own, you can like twist it, make your own unique spin on it. Like that's cool. But your own like the only reason why you called it Until Dawn is so that you could get people into the theater because you know that that title alone is going to make you a lot of money. It's the same reason why Jaden Smith's Karate Kid movie is called The Karate Kid. It's because of the success of the original film, even though it's actually not karate, it's kung fu that they're doing in the movie. They're in China. It's kung fu. So like, why call it Karate Kid? Tickets, could sells tickets. Until Dawn, the only thing that this movie and the game share in common is the title, and it's to draw tickets. That's it. Like movies nowadays, it's just there's nothing for you. No, that's not to say that there aren't any good movies. There's plenty of quality movies. But I think if you want to like truly enjoy like film experiences nowadays, go into a movie with a bit of skepticism, but also just try not to overthink it. Because it's easy for you to get caught up in certain bad things about movies, but at the same time, there's still quality you can find. You can still find quality in films that aren't like top tier, you know? So it's like don't don't go into don't go into what I'll say Thunderbolt expecting Infinity War levels of like quality of Infinity War. Because Infinity War is like the best MCU movie to this day. I don't go into expecting an Infinity War level movie. Just go into it expecting a good movie, and hopefully it does entertain me. If it doesn't, then that's cool. But I don't think movies are ever going to be the same as they were 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I don't think they ever will. When we talk about some of the greatest movies of all time, we will forever be talking about The Godfather. We're going to forever be talking about um, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Empire Strikes Back, Terminator 2. We're always going to be talking about those movies because they're timeless and they transcend the time period in which they came out in, the decade in which they came out in. With these movies, they don't transcend anything. They don't go above anything. They're just kind of there. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So yeah, for me at this point, Hollywood just kind of exists, pretty much. Hollywood, like movies, like they just kind of exist. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I went on for quite a bit of time, but that's whatever. Um, yeah. Um, I guess that's it. And thank you for watching. Um, I'll see y'all next week.